You know you should exercise, eat better, and quit scrolling, but you don't. The problem isn't motivation, it's just that you've never learned how to control yourself. And no, this isn't another one of those self-discipline videos. By the end, I'll flip that entire idea on its head. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is to be more aware and conscious during your life, because you can't take control of something that you don't even know what's happening. So to become more conscious, there are many different methods, and the amount of discipline it takes for them varies. So I will list several, that way you can pick the one that best fits you. To start, we have time journaling. Time journaling, or time tracking, is a method where you open up a Google Doc or a Notion page. Those are the two best options. And there is this little feature on both of them where you could type @now, and it puts in the exact time and date of when you wrote that. Then after you type @now, you can put a dash or whatever and write just a little blurb of what you're doing or what you started at that moment. Your goal with time journaling is to keep a very big document full of everything you're doing throughout your day. And so as you start doing new things throughout your day, so for example, let's say 8 a.m. you start breakfast. So you put that on there. Right before you start cooking, you go @now, it's 8 a.m. I am about to prepare breakfast and eat it. And then once you're done, let's say the next thing I want to do is do the dishes. So you go back and it's @now, maybe like 8:22 by this point, I am about to do the dishes. Now, yes, this is tedious, and yes, this does involve quite a bit of discipline, but this is by far the most effective method of being able to be aware of everything you're doing in a day and to become more conscious. If this doesn't work for you, the second best option is to do the chest clock strategy. Now, the chest clock strategy is when you have a stopwatch, whether that's on an actual watch, your phone, or your computer, and you leave it going whenever you're doing something productive or when you're doing deep work, whatever your target is. So let's say in your day you want to be more productive or do things that fulfill you. I know this is vague, but you all have a definition in your mind of what's productive and what's not. Like, you can easily tell yourself, oh yeah, this is productive, yeah, this is not. But anyway, with that stopwatch, you set it to go whenever you are doing that sort of thing. So let's say you need to write a few emails to your coworkers or your boss, and since that is a productive thing that you're doing, you let your stopwatch go during that time. Then once you're done, and let's say maybe you move on to do some gaming with friends, if that's what you like to do, then you would stop the stopwatch. And then by the end of the day, you could see what your total time was, and if it's like you spent 8 hours today doing productive things, or you spent 4 hours today doing productive things, whatever it is, you want to jot that down in some way or form, sheet of paper, doc, whatever, and then you'll track the amount of time you are doing productive things or deep work throughout that day. And eventually, since you're tracking that, it will improve and will be more conscious of what you're doing. It will take a few days, but eventually you'll get the hang of starting stopwatch and stopping it. Now the third option, which if the first two didn't work, this one should, and if you want to, you could actually couple these all together to be super conscious. I do that sometimes, so yeah. But the third option is to grab a pair of headphones, earbuds, or even just speakers, and you could play a type of music where it rings a gong or like a bell about every 15 minutes or so. It's a Buddhist practice, and you could just search up 15-minute conscious bell, something along those lines. It could be very vague, you'll probably find it, and it's basically just this music where every 15 minutes a gong rings. It's that simple of an idea. But every 15 minutes, it's supposed to make you think, well, what am I doing in this moment? And is this what I want to be doing? Is this good for me? Is this bad for me? When you're listening to that gong music, it's just supposed to make you gain back consciousness and just make you think about what you're doing. The only issue I see with this is that sometimes it's not feasible for you to have gongs playing while you're trying to do a deep work session, so maybe skip out for that. But if you're just in your work environment or in your room or wherever doing some shallow work or whatever, you can put the gongs up and enjoy the benefits. Now, the second idea to get you to have full control over your life, and this is to get to know your subconscious. Because if you don't know your subconscious, you won't be able to understand why you end up doing certain things again and again, why you feel a certain way. And getting to know your subconscious allows you to get that control, to understand, oh, I feel this way about X because, and it just is really beneficial. So the best way to do this is to have some sort of method where your subconscious is activated, and then afterwards, using your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, you will be able to analyze what you wrote or did, and then you can realize things about yourself. Now, I have two methods I like to do for this. One is meditation, and the other is journaling. I do both, but you could do one or the other. The specific meditation method I like for this specific reason is called holotropic breathwork, and it is very different from anything like an NSDR, yoga nidra, or just any basic meditation you'll find on the internet. Holotropic breathwork is when you purposefully increase the amount of CO2 in your body to have your brain stimulate the process that creates hallucinogenic chemicals. And during that meditation, you'll find yourself hallucinating, seeing things, feeling things, and it's a very wild experience. I highly recommend it if you're able to. Don't do it though if you have anti-mental issues. I would Google when not to do it, but it works for me. It should work for most people. Then after that, let's say you've experienced whatever it is, and namely hallucinations and seeing things and feeling things have a subconscious meaning behind it. And so afterwards, I like to journal about what I experienced and how that made me feel and what do I think it means. Now, usually when you do the meditation method, it's a bit more vague and doesn't really provide you with as much as you might need. So that's why I like just standard journaling. Morning pages seem to be very great for this. If you write 3 pages of whatever's on the top of your mind in the morning, and then afterwards think, why did I write this? Or how did this make me feel? That is a great way of understanding how your subconscious is thinking. And again, you're doing this to be able to control your desires and sort of manipulate your thoughts into what you want to be thinking. Because sometimes your subconscious could be programmed in a way that may negatively impact you. So you want to fix that. Now, the third method to taking total control over your life is to partake in time blocking. And I'm sure you've heard of time blocking, but let me just explain it to you and do a little bit of a recap. Time blocking is when you use your calendar and block out certain bits of time to do certain things. For example, if you are eating breakfast from 8:30 to 9, you write breakfast 8:30 to 9. Exercising like 4 to 5 or whatever, you put in those times. And I do want to mention a few things because most people do get this wrong, and if you do change this, it should make this way more beneficial, easier to follow, and more effective. So the first thing is that most people fall into the trap where you put time blocks that are really thin and like very direct and super specific. Like for 15 minutes, I am going to read one chapter of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and then for the next 30 minutes, I am going to completely clean my room and find an old whatever it is like that. That's really specific, and that was kind of on the far end of the spectrum. But when you are doing time blocking, you want to make it kind of generalized and a lot longer of a block, usually. I typically don't like blocks that are under 30 minutes unless if necessary. Now usually all the blocks that are 15 minutes, I kind of just gather up into the evening part of my routine where I just put them all in this like shallow work / free time block that's usually about an hour long where I can get to do all of them. And that is another great tip for time blocking, is that whenever you have just a bunch of to-do that are really short or whatever, I like just bunching them into one big block at the end of the day. So, in summary, to gain full control over your life, you must be conscious about every decision you make, you want to understand your subconscious, and you want to time block. Follow all of these steps, and you should notice yourself being able to control your day, and you should feel prouder of yourself as you implement these.